Welcome to Walking with Jesus, a devotional journey through books of the Bible from Forest Hill Presbyterian Church. I'm Pastor Jason Van Bemmel. We're on day 35 of our journey through the book of Hebrews. I hope that you've been learning a lot on our journey together. We're coming close to the end of Hebrews chapter 10, looking at a short passage today, verses 23 to 25, and asking this question: how can we grow in faith and confidence? Hebrews 10. 23 to 25. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. Again, that's Hebrews 10, 23 to 25 in the English Standard Version. Well, both of my boys are playing football for the first time this year. They're on the same team, and I'm one of their coaches. Their team is made up mostly of first-year players, and so as a team, we're having to focus more on growth than on success in terms of wins and losses. I'm also an Orioles fan, so I'm very familiar with a team that needs to focus on growth rather than success. For our players to grow, they do need to work on several things. They need to work on their physical conditioning, their understanding of the game, the knowledge of the playbook, their technique, their timing, their coordination as a team. Thankfully, in each of these areas, we are excited to see growth in our players. But how do we grow as Christians? How can we grow in our faith and confidence in Christ? Much of Hebrews so far has been focused on displaying to us the superiority and the sufficiency of Christ. But lately, the author of Hebrews has turned from a focus on the superiority of Christ to what it means to really trust Him and have confidence in Him. And now, before he gives us a warning at the end of chapter 10, he gives us some brief words about how to grow in our faith and confidence. It's kind of three steps in these three verses. Step one, hold fast. The first thing we must do to grow is to hold fast to what we know is true. We must continue to believe in the astounding promises of the gospel. We have no reason to waver because God is faithful and He never changes. God's promises never fail because they are anchored in His strong and unfailing character. And so our hope in them should be steadfast and persevering no matter the trials we face. Step two, we need to stir up one another. We must hold fast, but we cannot stand still. We need to be continually encouraging and prompting one another toward love and good works. In other words, we need to be helping each other live out the faith we have inside. And step three, we need to keep meeting together. In order to be able to stir up one another, we need to be meeting together. Gathered church worship is not an optional add-on to the Christian life. It is vitally important to our growth in faith and assurance. As we gather together, we have opportunity to encourage one another, to hold on to the hope that we have in Christ, to remain steadfast under trials. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Hold fast to our hope, stir up one another to love and good deeds, and keep meeting together to encourage one another more and more. It is simple. And yet, our adversary knows how vitally important these things are for our growth, and so he never stops attacking us with doubts and distractions. His attacks make our perseverance both more difficult and more vital. In the midst of our struggle to persevere, we have this final word of encouragement in today's passage. The day is drawing near. We are one day closer to seeing Jesus face to face today than we were yesterday. We are 1 week closer than we were last week. Life goes by quickly, but that means we are quickly drawing closer to the great day of the Lord. And that should keep us running together and encouraging each other. All the more as we see that day drawing near.